Hey, what's up, guys? I figured I'd do something a little bit different today. This meat slicer, it works, but to get the thing to come on, you have to pull this switch back and press this button, and that turns it on. And you have to hold it down like that. So it completely ties up one hand. And both of these, it's not easy to pull that back or press that. So what I'm going to do is make it more dangerous and put this on off on switch on here that I had. And I figured that in an emergency, the off position is right in the middle, and the two on positions are that way and that way. So it'll make it a lot more challenging to turn off in an emergency. So I'm going to do that, and while I do that, I'm going to talk a little bit about BB machine guns. So we're down to the business end of things, and it's got these fasteners in there that are devil spawn fasteners. It's a trademark name, and hopefully we have the right size to remove them. Well, this might be my shortest video ever because my smallest size is one size larger than that. Now, I think what I'm going to do is put this on a drill press, grind those points down. Gonna have some problems in this hole, but I don't really see any other way other than going out and buying the correct tool to get in here. And I don't think that the correct tool is within 100-mile radius of me, and I want to get this done. And in order to do that, I have a drill press, but I don't have it set up yet. Someone gave it to me, maybe a year ago, and I'm gonna have to find somewhere to put it. It's pretty big. And that reminds me, I've been hearing a good bit lately about how expensive the hobby of BB machine gunning is. I just want to remind you, you don't have to do it all at once. Uh, you can do it incrementally. And what makes me think of that is the expense involved in machining stuff from a hobby standpoint, or a quasi business standpoint like I'm trying to do it from. I mean, you start getting involved in it, you like it, and you can't do anything for less than $100 a pop, it seems like, just to make some tiny little change to a piece of metal. So keep that in mind. You don't have to do it all at once, and I'm not going anywhere. All right, let's go get that drill press. Well, there she is, folks. Ain't she a beauty? This is a perfect example of what I was talking about. You see, uh, a lot of people like myself think that, man, if I only had a drill press, if I only had a drill press, if I only had a drill press. Well, then you get a drill press and you stick it somewhere for 6 months. And every time you need it, it's like, well, I think I can get by without it. It's so big and heavy. All it does is drill straight holes at right angles. Well, yeah, you find that out, and then you think, man, I need a lathe. Yeah, if I had a lathe, I could do anything. Then you get a lathe, and then you're like, man, I thought I could do anything with a lathe. Now I need a mill. If I had a mill, I could do anything with a mill. And all these things take tools. Lots of them. There's like an infinite number of tools that you can put in these chucks. Anyway, we got to find a place for this thing. I thought about being funny and putting it right there on that bench, but I think it'll be a little hard to reach. And a lot of you guys already noticed that it has no vise. So there's one thing that I have to get for it. I think I'm going to put it right there. Speaking of safety, I found some electrical tape on this cord and it's lost the adhesive, so I wonder where that went on the cord. This plug has seen better days, but let's give it a whirl. I see someone else wasn't a fan of safeties. Or things that worked for that matter. Well, plan C. I might have to put this switch in here. I promise I'm going to get around to talking about BB machine guns, but I'm going to do that when we get to the meat of the situation. Right now, I think what I'm going to do is use one of these diamond bits. Found these on Fleabay, different size balls on the end, and just see if I can grind those pins down. And if I bugger them up too bad, I've got a set of not so easy outs that I'm gonna try to extract them with. Wow, that was a lot easier than it looked. And so just like that, we're in. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace this switch with the toggle switch. And hey, since this switch is still good, maybe I can put it on the drill press. So I think I can remove this slider and just use that hole to pass the toggle switch through. And I might need some kind of washer on this side, but we'll see. I was looking for something to make that bracket out of in the back room, and I found this. And I just have to drill it out a little bit more. Cut these sides off, and it should go right on there. I have no idea what this is, but I'm sure I'll find out that it was very important as soon as I do this. You may be noticing it's off center and not quite perfect. I noticed that too. It looks like maybe I'll be able to replace those safety fasteners, whatever you call them, security fasteners, with these two screws, because I won't be needing these. About BB machine guns, there was something I was going to tell you guys. I ended up losing 2 barrels during the move somehow, and I looked for them for about a week. I kept going back checking the same places over and over and over and over again, and they never were there, except for this one time over the weekend when I looked in the drawer where I have all of the Freebird stuff, and they were there. So I was real happy about that. Ow. Oh, I got a message from Rustlin maybe a week ago letting us know that our replacement parts are on the way. And I got to thinking about it. I don't know how you guys want your parts, but I could cut them for you for the wires and then send them to you. things are hot. Or I could just go ahead and send them to you, because it dawned on me that there might not be anything going on wrong with your gun, and you might not want to change anything. But since I promised you those parts, you can hold on to them, and if you do have something wrong with it, if the frame does crack or something like that, you can replace it with those parts, or you could hang on to those parts and build another Freebird with it later on when those parts become available. So that's up to you guys. Whatever you want to do, just let me know, and I will post when those parts come in. Before I got involved with these BB machine guns, I didn't know how to do a lot of this stuff like soldering, and I don't claim to be an expert on it or anything, but I've certainly come a long way. What I use is, I found this rework station, I did some research, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I wanted to get the most bang for my buck, but it's an IU-AOYUE 968A plus, and it's been a good one. And the reason I got into soldering was just so I could desolder the solenoids, and then it morphed into a whole bunch of other stuff. Very good skill to have, especially if you're a fan of burning yourself. If you're wondering, this is called a can't remember. So there you go. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of you guys who can solder cringing about the way I'm fastening this, but it'll be good enough for this. If I was doing it for someone else, what I would do is I would strip away a good bit of that insulation, and I would have a fastener for this. I'd wrap it around the fastener, I'd bolt it down, then I'd solder it in place. It's funny how I got into doing this. Started off just selling Sergey's boards after Drawsmax went out of business to help Sergey out, because I liked it. And then we figured out how to make them shoot really high fire rates. That took a whole bunch of magazine modification. So I was, selling 4K boards, and I tried to sell kits where you could just buy everything you needed and put it together. That was a huge mistake, because what ended up happening was that I spent so much time answering people's questions on this and that I just stopped selling kits and just went to doing builds. And these days, if you've got one of my builds, I don't mind selling you parts, because you've got a blueprint to work off of. But I don't normally sell parts like for the Sergey's boards, the components like the mag motors, gears and augers and basically everything you need to get the most out of the board, unless you already have one of my builds. And that's, I mean, I'm not trying to be an a-hole, but I mean, I don't care how you get the build. You can buy it off of eBay and get parts from me. It just saves both of us so much time. Alright, let's plug this up before we put it back together. Because if we don't, it won't work when we put it back together. Cool. Now, also, I've got a foot pedal for my grinder that I can plug this into, turn it on. Power to the machine will be on. This circuit will be complete, but it won't be complete at the foot pedal until I press it. So I'm probably going to use that foot pedal with this in the on position. But I really only use this for things like London broils that I've cooked. So this is going to be a big help. And don't get me wrong, I am a fan of safety, but I mean, when it starts to get into the operation of something and really hindering it, I trust myself enough to do some mitigation. It's worked out so far anyway. Extra long hemostats. They're not just for feeding your rattlesnake anymore. I like working here. There's less dimensions to work in. Now we just tighten it down till we hear that crack. That's how we know we're there. Okay, I think that's good. Probably should have put some silicone behind this and this other button so I can put it in the dishwasher, but I didn't think to until now. So we're just going to forgo that. I'd also wanted to put some more lithium grease on here, but I don't think, maybe I do have some. Well, no luck on the lithium grease. I think I soldered myself into a corner though. Here we go. Now, Not sure these fasteners are going to be long enough. We will try. Yep. Oh yeah, BB machine guns. I was going to talk about that, wasn't I? And voila. Not the prettiest job, but it does what it does. Now, let's hope I didn't reverse the polarity so we don't have this blade turned backwards. I don't know why, but longer screwdrivers work so much better than short ones. Haven't been able to figure that out. That's a way you can find the threads if you don't already know. Just turn it backwards until you hear it click. That'll keep you from stripping things out. The longer it goes, the louder it gets.
Hey, that's really great.
Just for giggles, I took the switch out of the drill press to see what was going on. Let me show you something. I guess I could use it to make scrap metal.